This NASCAR Pocono 2024 DFS Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their Pick 8. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. We are also brought to you by Rhythm. Build your own betting model using their AI betting engine. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Happy Friday to all of you who celebrate. It is, of course, the DFS edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast, Pocono style, tricky triangle, 3 straightaways and 3 curves. Cody, I'm running out of ways to describe this track. We've talked about it all week long, and I don't know what to do anymore.
I think you covered it, Rod. So, yeah, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week for Indy.
Which is 2 long straightaways and 2 round corners.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Another really track we don't see another one of. So, that's fun. But, Pocono. Excited. We've been talking about it all week, obviously, leading up to this point. Got all the bets in. Time for the fantasy side of things. A lot of correlation, a lot of crossover, of course, but also found some other guys to highlight as we usually try to do. So I'm looking forward to this one. Should be a fun week, kind of back to a more normal-ish track, I guess you could say, after the last couple of weeks or what feels like some crazy weeks with Chicago and Iowa and a lot of unpredictable things in there because of the chaos. But hopefully maybe we don't have so much of that this week, but you never know.
Yeah, as he says, as we start to go into Pocono where there's nothing but uncertainty going on and the ever-looming
dog races, fuel shortened, rains. People have won races a lot of different ways here, so I'm sure it won't be chaotic at all.
No, indeed. And because this is a full weekend of racing, all 3 series are in action. We will break down all 3 series from a DFS aspect of it. So all of our favorite DraftKings plays for the entire weekend, Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, because it's a triple header weekend in the Pocono. So we'll give you all of our favorite plays. Okay, maybe not all of them because that would take a very long time. At least 2 from each of the series as we break it down. And then if you're looking for underdog, don't worry, we'll got you back. We're going to put some underdog shorts up on the YouTube channel for you as well as in our social media feeds. So we'll tell you how to play along there as well. But first, let me tell you about Moonoff. Moonoff, the machine, Manji and Chris. They're getting you ready for the NFL season on the Propcast. The Propcast is a show that is near and dear to my heart, ladies and gentlemen. I've been on it for the past few seasons. Absolutely love giving out props. It's just one of the most fun things you can ever do. And Moonoff is a literal machine in getting it done. So catch him there. They got episodes right now that are dedicated to season-long props and, of course, the awards market. Plus, all season long, they're going to get you all hopped up with tons of props to bet on. So make sure you check them out. Plus, check out CJ Sullivan and his road to $10 million on Bottom Line Bombs. You think he'll loan me about $10-15? I need a little extra money to get through the week. You can tune into both of those shows wherever you get your podcasts or the SGPN app, as always.
Moonoff truly is a machine. I mean, I know you do a lot of podcasts as well, but he definitely gives you a run for the money. And CJ's just hilarious, man. Every time I listen to him, it's full of laughs for sure. So make sure you're checking out all the other great shows on this network because they do a pretty good job.
They do a hell of a job. I do love it. I've been at this game for a little while now, and I found a home, obviously, because I've been here for a long time. They can't get rid of me. But I mean, it's the people. I mean, the people on all of these shows. I've done work with many of them over the course of the time my time here, whether it's ultimate frisbee, whether it's football, whether it's, CFL, whatever. I love this network. I love you guys for giving us this home. And I mean, Cody and I were just talking about it too a little bit ago, as far as, when we first started the show and it was just the one episode. Now we're digging into DFS and fantasy. Now we're getting underdog. Now we're getting all three series. Now, just the simple fact that this grew up from one tiny little show where we gave you a few Cup Series picks to like the whole ball of wax that we got going on now. It's mind boggling.
It's great. I love it. Love this place, and all the shows on this network are awesome.
Beautiful stuff. All right, now that our Hug Fest is over, let's get down to it. We are starting to give out our favorite DFS plays for this slate. We will start with the Truck Series because that's the one that's more pertinent for you guys, as the Truck Series is the first one to get started. The CRC Brake Lean 175. The trucks are set for 70 laps around this 2.5-mile paved track for 175 miles around the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Talked about all the notables in the field for this one, but 70 laps, Cody. You talked about it a couple of days ago in the Xfinity Series episode. Not a lot of laps because of the length of this track. So, I mean, we've seen some guys and gals lead multiple laps on this one, but I think you have an opportunity to have a couple of them. Although in the Truck Series, who knows?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, last time the Truck Series was out, Christian Eckes led wire to wire for the first time since, 2011, 2012 or something like that. So not something you see very often, but obviously it can happen. I would expect kind of a mixed bag. You're also going to have some stage flipping probably and whatnot going on. So strategy will come into play. That should shake things up. But yeah, limited number of laps to lead. So you're going to want to get the guy that leads the majority of them, of course. But it's going to be a lot about finishing position and place differential.
Indeed, it will. And since we are covering all three series, we won't give you high, low, or medium price, and we won't even really give you building blocks. We're just going to give you guys we like at whatever price we like. So, Cody, who is the first guy you like in the Truck Series?
Well, the first guy I like, for all the shifties out there, Taylor Gray. I am big on Taylor Gray this week. I think that he's going to have a good day in the Xfinity Series, as we talked about. I think he's going to have a good day in the Truck Series as well. He checks in at 9,500. So you've, of course, got your Himes, your Eckes, your Chastain, your Smith, your Sanchez, your Majeski, all at the top of the board. All are going to be popular. And then Taylor Gray tucked in right behind them at 9,500. Some people might click on his name and realize the last 2 weeks have not been good to him. Last two races, which have been over the last 2 months, it seems like. But Nashville, 34th place. Gateway, 30th place. Rough days there. But like we've been talking about all week, you're looking at the bigger tracks. How do they do there? Nashville, it's sort of an intermediate, but closer to a shorter track than an intermediate. And then Gateway, obviously kind of a different beast there, shorter, flatter track. But go back to Charlotte, 12th place finish for him there. Not a bad day. 7th place finish at Texas, though. 4th place at Las Vegas, one of the more comparable tracks that the series have been to this year. That is the type of race that you're looking for. 68.8 points from Taylor Gray. That's the type of race that I think we can get from him this week. And yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So I like that he's going to have the extra track time. Obviously, the Xfinity race won't be before this, but he'll have the Xfinity Series practice. He'll have Truck Series practice, and of course, this race to get warmed up. I think he probably will be worth looking at in the Xfinity Series side of things as well. But give me Taylor Gray, 9,500, kind of tucked in right underneath all of these top guys that you would maybe look at. And I think he's going to have a solid day and score you some points.
Yeah, again, that's all the shifties out there rejoicing. Taylor Gray, especially in his equipment and the equipment that he's going to be in on Saturday as well. Boy, that's the one where we're really going to keep an eye on it too, is the fact that he's going to be in some prime equipment there. I know
big numbers in the betting episode we got too. It's so beautiful.
It's good stuff. That's what I'm saying. You got to go back and listen to all of that too. And I know they talked about rushing Corey Heim up, but at what point do we start talking about Taylor Gray landing a full time in the Xfinity? Got to be.
Yeah, let's give him another year in the trucks. I think we had some solid flashes. We knew it was coming. He's broke out this year. We're still looking for that first win. Once they start rolling in, I think another season in the truck series, and then he's probably got his eye on Xfinity after that.
Or at least Xfinity's got their eye on him. So we'll keep an eye on his progression. But for now, use him this week in Pocono and feel confident, especially even at 9,500. It's fine. We'll take a step down for my first guy that I like, and that's Tyler Ankrum. I like him a lot. I've liked him in the betting episodes. I've liked him in DFS. I mean, he's actually got us a lot of good things happening when we take him in our drivers game against the NASCAR betting preview show. And he's been an overall solid investment in any way that you can get him at. On this racetrack in particular, too, a very solid investment. His first time out on this track, he was in the 17 truck for David Gilliland. He started 9th, finished 2nd. Not a bad DFS day for you at all. And the next career race out there in the 26 truck, started 9th or 11th rather, finished 9th. The next time out in that 26 truck, started 18th, finished 4th. There's a little trend going on, although that trend was broken in 2022. Started 14th, finished 16th. The only race in which he has lost you points on this track, because last year in the 16 truck, he started 18th and finished 12th. So far this season, in his new ride in the 18 truck, average finish of 15th place with an average start of 14th. So he's not losing you a ton of positions on the track. The last time out, top 5 run in Nashville after he started 14th and ended up in 5th place. North Wilkesboro, an 8th place finish on a 21st place start. Martinsville, 9th place start, 5th place finish. You talk about Vegas being somewhere near it. Started 5th, finished 2nd on that. So Tyler Ankrum is good at DFS. He's averaging 30.3 points per race. And really that's what you're kind of hoping for out of him, is about that 30 to 35 point range in which he's able to get you. I mean, when he gets you good points, he gets you in the 40s, 48 points. The last time they were out, he did get you 60 in that race in which he finished 8th, which was a big jump. But outside of that, 44, 46, 48, 44, he's steady good at DFS. Betting this week, maybe not so much that I'm looking for, but I'm definitely on him for the DFS purposes, because I think here is where you get a little more flexibility with Tyler Ankrum. So give me Tyler Ankrum at $8,800 rather as my first driver.
Yeah, I like it. And from what we've seen from him lately, starting to get back to what we saw early on in the season. So, I like that the progress that we've seen there.
I very much do, as well as I remember to hit or unmute. That's Cody. It's already been a week.
It's Friday, Rod. This is what happens.
I'm still getting settled in from being gone for like 2.5 weeks. It's weird because you'd think that you'd be able to slide right back into life, but I mean, I was like isolated from the world out there, and I had you guys to keep me company. So
you really were.
I really was. All right, we'll get to our other drivers here in a second, but let me tell you formally about Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live. You can create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog's going to automatically double flex those entries, so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. With more picks to make and extra ways to win, the excitement is higher than ever, and the best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount. You can also now use boosts and specials on all flexed entries. Cannot wait to start making some Pick 8 picks. Like I said, check the YouTube channel. We will be putting out our plays for you in special shorts and special videos coming out on Saturday. So don't miss out your chance to try it before it's gone. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. Circa Survivor and Circa Millions are back. Circa Sports is back all together with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Of course, Circa contests have no rake. Circa Millions, you can pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week and compete for $6 million or survive the NFL gauntlet to claim the $10 million prize. Sign up in person at Circa Sports now, between now and September 7th, and use proxy to play from anywhere in the world. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with promo code SGP. Don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football? Ultimate Contest Weekend is a great time to go out and hang out with Ryan and Sean as they enjoy some of the open bar events, and you will too, at the greatest sportsbook in the world, August 22nd through the 24th. Kids will be in school then, but I think I'm gonna find a way to get out to Vegas and partake in some of that open bar event because Cody, who doesn't love the words open bar next to each other?
I do know somebody who loves the words open bar, Rod. You might know him as well. So I'll let you think if you can figure out who that is. So, all right, Rod, should we shift gears from the open bar to the Xfinity Car Series? I believe is how it was referenced earlier this week. So,
are you already jumping to the Xfinity Car Series?
Oh, we do have.
Wow. Maybe you did love an open bar a little too much already.
It is Friday. Maybe I've been to the open bar.
Look at Cody trying to hit a segue. I love the attempt, buddy. It is.
I tried and I massively failed. That's why Rod is the host of this show. Let's move on to our second. And we're doing this all different too. Generally, we don't give out 2 of each when we do all 3, but no underdog stuff up when we're recording this. So here we go. All right. As I was saying before, my second Truck Series DFS pick this week, Rod. Go big or go home. Give me Mr. Dean Thompson at 6,900.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Dean Thompson, it is go big or go home because he could finish 8th place. He could also finish 33rd, and he doesn't do a lot in between, Rod, but occasionally he does. But here's the thing with him. Again, when we're looking back and trying to spot some things where guys might have shown some stuff on bigger tracks, 28th at Nashville, okay. 14th at Worldwide Technologies, okay. 27th at North Wilkesboro, 29th at Darlington, okay, they are what they are. 9th place at Charlotte, 8th place at Kansas, even 16th place at Texas is not a bad day. 30th at Las Vegas, so that's always a possibility as well, right? That's the type of stuff you can get out of Dean Thompson, but much like when we called Roger Cruth at Las Vegas earlier this year to win the race, Dean Thompson is a guy who's shown flashes. He's really, really fast week in and week out. Now, a lot of times he makes dumb mistakes. A lot of times he's over-aggressive and it fucks his day up. And so the results aren't always there, but the capability to do well is there with him. And we've seen it from him a handful of times now. Even some races last year, he finished 3rd at Charlotte. And had some other good runs also. So Dean Thompson is a guy that I'm looking at. Big, high, tall upside on Dean Thompson. 50.9 points at Kansas, 50.7 points earlier on the season as well. These are the types of days you're looking for from Dean Thompson. But you got to be prepared as well when you play him for the -17 days, for the 6.8 days, because those days are going to be in there. He can run well all race and fuck it up at the end. That makes him a little bit more of a GPP play, but I think it scares a lot of people off of him because he can be inconsistent. This is a ceiling play for me. Give me Dean Thompson at a very nice $6,900.
You know what cracks me up about this whole industry in general, right? I mean, when we talk about drivers like this, and when we talk about drivers like even the guy I'm going to talk about next, you get the spectrum. You get the guys that are like, well, why are you giving that guy out? Because he gives you -17 points, and that's such an irresponsible way to go about things. That's not a winning strategy. Well, no, but it's winning on the weeks where he hits it. And it's like, if he hits it and you're right, then it's like, oh wow, that was why'd you make that call? Because that's not a really responsible call.
That was lucky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're lucky on calling. Okay.
Gotta be good to be lucky. Gotta be lucky to be good, Rob.
Yeah, it's such a fine balance that we weave on this one. But yeah, I'm with you on Dean Thompson because a lot of times when he is good, he's good. And when he's not, he's not. You're just really hoping for a good week.
This is like betting Brandon Jones to finish in the top 5. It's got the upside to happen, and it could happen, but don't be surprised if he finishes in 33rd place because he has a tendency to do that. Same thing with Dean Thompson here. And it's the same thing if you're betting him for a top 5, right? He's got the capability of doing it. He can get it done. He also can fuck it up and ruin his day and somebody else's day and end up in dead last in the car. The truck is a mangled mess on the wrecker. So it's a wide variety of ranges, but you're obviously playing him for the upside that does exist.
Betting and DFS would not exist if everybody was right every single week. I'm telling you right now.
Be a lot easier if they were, Rod.
Yeah, it would. What would be easy is if Ben Rhodes would be a consistent driver week in and week out. I would be so much happier if Ben Rhodes was somebody that you could count on to do well each and every week. However, he's been very frustrating when he hasn't been good, a lot like your driver, Dean Thompson. However, Ben Rhodes is supposed to be good. That's the frustrating part about Ben Rhodes. He's supposed to be as good as he is, right? A championship contender, a championship driver. Like, this guy should be week in and week out good. Instead, we get an average finish of 14.8 this season out of Ben Rhodes after a starting of 15.5. But that hasn't really done too badly in the overall fantasy points per race, where he's got 30.1 on an $8,500 salary. It's not necessarily exactly the way you like it, but if you can get 56 points out of him like you did last time they were out on the track, 47 the week before that, 45 the week before that, 50 2 weeks before that, you can suffer through the 6.1s or the ones where he doesn't finish all that well in the fantasy perspective of it. Just to put it into context, Nashville started 26th, finished 7th. That was the day I read you in that 50 right there. Gateway started 8th, finished 7th. Charlotte started 13th, finished 5th. Right? North Wilkesboro is where he got you 6 points, but the week before that in Darlington started 12th, finished 3rd. So a good streak of top 10 finishes for Ben Rhodes, right? 4 out of his last 5 finishes have been inside of the top 5. Don't think he's going to get a top 5 finish here at Pocono because he's only got 2 of those in 8 career starts. And actually, one of those came in 2017. What's funny, though, is you look at Ben Rhodes, and Ben Rhodes has had a pretty storied history. But he's only been on this track 8 times in his career. As far as the Truck Series is concerned, his average finish is 10th place, average start is 9th place. So not losing you a ton of positions. He's kind of hold and serve where he's at. But 9th place last year on this track after starting 22nd, 19th place, 17th place the 2 years before. So a couple of bad days there. But a 5th place finish in 2020. 9th place in 2019 after starting 15th. 11th place in 2018 after starting 14th, or 11th. Rather, getting ahead of myself. I'm reading too many numbers at once. 11th place finish in 2018 after starting 14th. Finished 2nd, like I said, after starting on the pole in 2017. And 11th place finish in 2016. So not a bad average finish. Starting pretty high up there. But like I said, this season's been a little bit frustrating. It's been an up and down roller coaster. But at least he's turned it around in the last 4 races. I do see another top 10 finish for him in the future, which if he starts in and around the top 10, that'll be a solid enough DFS day for you to play him at $8,500.
I like it. No arguments from me here, Rod. You know, I got a soft spot for Ben Rhodes.
You do, as a matter of fact, and that's your weakness.
He is one of my weaknesses. You got to pick and choose your spots with him, much like Dean Thompson. But I think this is as good a spot as any.
I agree. You know what else is as good a spot as any is to throw in the fact that we're talking to you about Rhythm. If you're betting on player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's predictive models were born from those big, fat, juicy brains of MIT data scientists and quants with over 3 years of data that help drive you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Rhythm projections have been red hot for the WNBA and golf circuits. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, Cody, are you now ready to shift gears to the Xfinity?
I've been ready for a while. I'm very excited about this Xfinity Series race.
You missed the shift earlier, so I'm just picking you back up again.
Yes, missed the shift. Luckily, transmission's okay. And hopefully we don't have any more equipment failure like can happen with the number 26 for Sam Hunt Racing. Oof. But if it doesn't happen, that means it's going to be a good day for Corey Heim. That is the one thing that's concerning is this equipment not always the greatest, but this season, let's knock on wood over here, it's been a little bit better and a little bit more reliable. Corey Heim has done a great. So first of all, Corey Heim, $8,700. Kind of checks in underneath, it's very top heavy. You got William Byron all the way at 12,000. Allgaier, Custer, Mayer, Smith, Hill, Creed, Truex, Herbst, Sammy Smith, and then Corey Heim kind of tucked in after all of these guys. Going to be a lot of popular plays above him. He'll probably get overlooked a little bit, but he's had some very, very good days racing in this 26 car. All of his Xfinity Series starts this year have been in the 26 car, so you don't have to go through and figure out, well, which one's been at here, or which one's been in the 19 or anything like that. It's all been in the 26 car. 2 top 4 finishes, the type of upside that he's got. Those were at Iowa and Richmond, so similar types of tracks and a little bit shorter. Texas and Las Vegas, he started at both of those. 13th at Las Vegas is not bad. 17th at Texas, also not bad. But you're getting some solid DFS days from him. 31 points last time out at New Hampshire. 65 points at Iowa. That's obviously a very nice day. 51 points at Richmond as well. 33 points even back at the Las Vegas race, where he finished in 13th place. So some good finishes, good runs by him. One -7, one -9 in here. Got involved in an incident, I think, in one, and had some equipment failure in the other one. Again, some risks to the Corey Heim pick. A lot safer about this one, though. And I think that the price you're getting him at 8,700, kind of where he's at in the pecking order here, will be a little bit of a less rostered guy that's got that upside of the 3rd, 4th place finish, can have a strong run. If we get some chaos at the end of the day, he could definitely be a guy that pays off big time for you.
I don't know, maybe because I don't swim in a lot of circles that are outside of ours. A lot of people that really bang the drum for Heim in the Xfinity Series, even though we know how good he can be.
Because the 26 car is just, it can be, but what he's done in it this season has been overly impressive. So if you've not noticed or you've not paid attention to him, it's Heim time, baby. Pay attention.
Ooh, look at you. Well, and maybe it's because there's not a lot of people that talk about the Xfinity Series. So maybe we're all just on our own little island there. But Corey Heim, especially for DFS, this is the perfect place for a Corey Heim. I know we talked about him in the betting episode as well, but I think this is even a better spot for Corey Heim. So I like that as well. All right, I'm moving my attention to a guy who I'm going to mention twice in this episode, which, again, we don't necessarily do on this. We try to find different angles, but I think this guy's going to play you both good on Saturday and on Sunday. That is Josh Berry, $7,500. A price so nice, I put the $ in twice. $7,500 for Josh Berry in the Xfinity Series. Josh Berry stepping in, making his first Xfinity race start since last year. He's driving the number 15 car, just vacated by Haley Deegan. I know that Josh Berry is not going to be in his number 8 car that he has driven to success and made his way all the way up to the Cup Series. And I know that this 15 car is a far cry from that number 8 Junior Motorsports vehicle that now occupied by Sammy Smith. But, I will say that Josh Berry is a good enough driver to at least turn that machine into a decent DFS day for you. And look, even better if he starts farther back in the pack, because I will point out to you that in 2021, and I talked about this on the betting episode too, and I don't care, I'm bringing it back up here again, if this is the only episode you listen to, because it's worth mentioning. He drove the 31 Jordan Anderson machine from a 33rd place start to a 9th place finish. I'm not going to sit here and count out how many points that is DFS wise, but I can tell you that's a shit ton already. That 9th place finish in and of itself, and the fact that he started in 33rd, you do the math. That's a lot of fantasy points up there. And that was in the 31 car. Turns around in the 8 car, starts 7th, finish 3rd. Still, I mean, that's not a lot of place differential points, but that 3rd place finish, still a great day for you as far as fantasy is concerned. And then in 2023, starts on the pole, leads 51 laps. Again, a lot of fantasy points for you on that one. Unfortunately, kind of lost you all those points that he gained by finishing 24th. However, he did have the opportunity to win that race were it not for the final restart, where there was just a mess of nonsense that happened at the front that kind of kicked him back. He fell back, got in some trouble. I don't know. It's overtime, and overtime sucks for DFS and for betting purposes 9 times out of 10. Which is exactly how he got punted. So he's coming back. Doesn't even have to be a top 10 car. Doesn't have to be a top 5 car on the day for you to have a good, solid DFS. And look, there's a lot of people that are going to overlook him because he's in that 15 car. And they're going to say, he's making his first Xfinity Series start, and he's in the 15 car. Haley Deegan couldn't do anything in the 15 car. He's $7,500. That's exactly why you need to pounce on him in these GPPs, because if everybody else is leaving him out, and hell, I'll put him in a cash game too. I don't care, because I think the upside is there that he's going to cash for you and have a solid day. So you can play him anywhere you want. and still profit off of this. So give me Josh Berry, $7,500 in this Xfinity race.
Yeah, I like it. We talked about it on the betting episode. You talked me into him. Again, getting a good price here. So really like that as well, because I think that there's a lot of upside. We've seen Moffitt do it in that car before. I think people are going to be scared to play it because it is the 15 car. But if you look at everything involved and how good he's been here, I think that that you've made a strong case this week, and for once got me on the Josh Berry train.
I love that I did that. So that makes me feel that I can go to sleep tonight knowing that I did that and I'm happy. So, all right, Cody, who's next?
All right, Rod, I've been giving you some guys that, some upside, some downside, somebody that's going to be locked into pretty close to every single lineup I have this weekend in Xfinity Series. Doesn't matter where he starts. Don't care. Nothing. Ryan Sieg, 6,800. Way too fucking cheap of a price for Ryan Sieg. Ryan Sieg delivers on the weekly. 30.5 is his average points per race in the Xfinity Series this season, and he just keeps getting it done. 4 top 10 finishes, which is great for the car he's in. For the price he's at, 6,800. He gets it done. Talked about him on the betting episode. Gave him out as a long shot to win. I think he's got that type of upside this week, Rod. You go back and you look at what he's done this season on the bigger intermediate tracks. 7th at Charlotte, 7th at Las Vegas, 2nd place at Texas by this much. He was that close to getting Sam Mayer at Texas, right? In the mix late here last season before he got spun on all that late race chaos. He's had solid runs here before, 22nd, 17th, 12th, before they had this stepped up program with Stuart Haas, before things got better like they have this season. Ryan Sieg is going to be in the mix. If you get chaos, he's very good at surviving that, being there even farther at the end. That plays into his favor. He's going to have a good day for you. Even if he starts in 3rd place and finishes in 11th place, he can still score you 24.5 points like he did a couple of weeks ago in Nashville. But he's got the upside of these 43.7, 51.5, 61.9 days. These are the types of days you can get out of Ryan Sieg. And two races this season where he's been in the negative because he got involved in a wreck or something happened. Those things are going to happen, right? That's a normal race thing. But very, very consistent driver, delivers you good, strong points every single week. And he's cheap at only 6,800. Ryan Sieg is going to be the first guy going in my lineups this weekend, and I'll build around that.
There's nothing but upside to Ryan Sieg. That price right there alone, given that we know how he runs and where he likes to run. Yeah, you get the days where he doesn't run like that, but there's a reason.
He doesn't. If you look through his things, I mean, he's got the 2 big negative days, right? But outside of that, everything's at least in the double digits. I mean, he's getting you at least 21 points a race. Like, if he's finishing the race, he's having a solid day. The races where he DNFs, yeah, they're gonna be a bad day. That's how it is for anybody. But man, he's just so solid, and he's still so cheap. And we've had 4.5 mile races. Actually, we've only had 3.5 mile races because they didn't go to Kansas, and he's been top 7 in all 3 of them. So
I will tell you this, to put it in perspective and to further back your point, as far as drivers who have driven all 18 races in the Xfinity Series, he is 7th, top 7 in fantasy points per race with the 30.5. So that tells you something. At that price, that's a hell of a deal. So good job, Cody. Way to go.
I appreciate it.
Way to recognize the value. Wait, I love that. All right. Speaking of drivers who have driven all 18 races and are sitting there at the top of the fantasy points per race, allow me to introduce you to Justin Allgaier. I understand that Justin Allgaier is one of the more expensive guys on this slate. He is $1,100. But if you are talking cash game, right, Justin Allgaier sits in the 3rd most fantasy points per race on the season, 39.8 fantasy points per race, to be exact. He's going to get you huge days. He got you 62 points the last time they were out on the loop, right? On the last track that they were at. 39 points, 51 points, 37, 63. It's Justin Allgaier. I if you've heard this show once, you've heard it a million times that it's Justin Allgaier. I did not bring him up to win this race in the betting episode, spoiler alert. Somebody else did, but I didn't. I don't know who else is out there in the show that could do it. But I did give him out as a top 3. And if a top 3 car for Justin Allgaier is going to be the ceiling for him, in my opinion, then I do believe that, well, of course, a win is a top 3, right? So it doesn't matter. But that's still a hell of a day. Let me paint a better picture for you, okay? He has partaken in this race 8 times as an Xfinity Series driver. 2 of those, he crashed out, and those are the only 2 in which he did not lead a lap. Every other 6 of the other races that he's been in, he's led at least 1 lap. 13 in 2017, 27 in 2019. He led 9 in 2020, 10 in 2021, 22 in 22, 8 in 23. And I will say that he was up there in the mix to be a top 5-ish car at the end of the last race. But along the same lines of what happened to Josh Berry, that little chaos in the overtime kind of punted him back. He ended up finishing in 23, costing him a pretty bad day. But 4 top 10s overall, 2 of those top 5s in his 8 starts. It's Justin Allgaier. I mean, I don't got to paint much more of a pretty picture to you than that. Like I said, I already read to you the fact that he's the 3rd highest active driver that's led or it's raced all 18 races so far this season in Xfinity Series, and he's going to be up front. I mean, I know somebody thinks he's going to win. I hope he wins because then I feel good about myself about being a Justin Allgaier fan. But again, if you really need and if the piano falls, then we just call Grams, and Grams over there in the Pocono area, he'll come out and fix the car.
This is why you got to listen to all the shows, Rod.
Tell you,
Otherwise, you're like, fuck is Grams? What the hell?
We tie it back. Go back, listen to the betting episode. You'll find out who Grams is. And that's it. I mean, so Justin Allgaier for me, I know he's $11,000. I know, and that hurts. But in a cash game, if he comes out and leads 30, 40 laps, you're going to hate yourself for not having him. So got to have him in at least one of your cash game lineups.
I have thoughts on Justin Allgaier, Rod. If you want them, tune into the Xfinity betting episode because I talked a lot about him there. Really like him this week, though.
Indeed. All right, then, as we transition into the Cup Series race that happens on Sunday, who do we start with for the Cup Series?
Well, you took all the bets on him this week, Rod. So I took him in the DFS show. Tyrone Gibbs, only $9,000. Put some respect on this kid's name, Rod. Ty Gibbs is going to have himself a good day. 2 starts in the Cup Series at Pocono. The first one was 2022. Kurt Busch spins out in one of the corners at Pocono on Friday or Saturday, backs it into the wall, has a concussion. We haven't seen him on the track since, unfortunately, which means quickly they shoved Ty Gibbs into that ride. He took over, qualified in 10th place, wheeled it to a 16th place finish. Great debut race for Ty Gibbs in the Cup Series. Then he comes back last season in the 54 for Joe Gibbs, 5th place finish. That's what I'm looking for Ty Gibbs. Looking for him to have another solid run like that. Been having a pretty solid season. Yeah, it's had its ups, it's had its downs. Coming off a 3rd place finish at Chicago last week. So, of course, that is some good momentum for him. 6th place at Charlotte. You'd like to see that. 13th place at Texas was not a bad day by any means. 5th place at Las Vegas. These are the types of days you're looking for from Tyrone Gibbs. I think that's the type of day you're going to get as well from him this week. Really, you go through his points on a week-to-week basis. He's getting you points a majority of the time and solid amount of them. He's got the upside of the 64.2s, the 45.2s, the 55.1s, the 88.9. That was the All-Star Open because he led every single lap. But hey, it looks nice on here, so I'll give it out as well. Give me Ty Gibbs at $9,000 again. Kind of one of those guys that's tucked in under all the favorites, right? You got the Hamlins, the Larsons, the Bells, the Truex, Byron Reddick, Elliott Blaney, all above him. He's sitting right there in that top of that next tier. I think he's going to be a solid play for you this week.
I wish that we didn't have to pay copyright on stuff that we did, because I would love to have Erykah Badu's Call Tyrone on there. Every time we talk about Ty Gibbs, guess you better call Tyrone. I don't have to pay royalties on that nasty version of that. But yeah, love that song. Love Tyrone Gibbs. I do. I think, yeah, this is going to be one. Didn't I give him out as a potential?
You gave him out as a potential winner. I think you had head-to-head on him. You might have even had something else. You were all over him this week. So trying to earn back your Ty Gibbs fandom card from the Ty Gibbs lovers that we have on this show. And yeah, I also love him this week.
Beautiful stuff. All right. Stop me if you've heard this name before. bringing him up again. And this is going to be Josh Berry.
Stop. Oh,
Damn.
okay.
I did say
You told me to stop you. So I have heard it before. So I just wanted to make sure that I stopped you.
Okay,
Got
good.
it.
But yes, Josh Berry. No, you are not. I'm not circling back to the Xfinity.
Let's hit rewind and it's all the same points. Okay, next.
Most of the same points. I will tell you that go back, and if you need a refresher, go back about 10, 15 minutes and then listen to the Xfinity, what he did there. But he's $400 cheaper in the Cup Series. And I'll add on to this, okay? A lot of this has to do with Josh Berry not being completely bad in that 4 car. I mean, yeah, he's averaging the same start as he has finished, 20.9. But there are some encouraging signs for young Josh Berry. I say young. I think he's in his 30s. So for Josh Berry, who is neither nor old. But I will say this. Look back at Nashville. He started on the outside pole. Okay. Yeah, he didn't finish anywhere near there. He finished in 26th, but still not bad. There's some speed in that 4 car still. In New Hampshire, started 10th, finished 3rd. In Iowa, started 3rd, finished 7th. Not bad DFS days in that 4 car. Charlotte finished in 10th after starting 13th. Darlington started 33rd, finished 3rd place, right? That's a huge run for him at Darlington. 15th place finish in Kansas after starting 17th. Go back to Richmond where he started 30th, finished 11th. Is it completely comparable to Pocono? No, it's not. But speed, I am speed. If you are Lightning McQueen, and that is what Josh Berry has been in certain fits and spurts, right? Overall, he's averaging about 25.9 points per fantasy points per race, which at a $7,000 salary, you do the math. That's 3 times, almost 4 if you really want to round up in a way that I like to round up, which is make it bigger than it needs to be. But yeah, Josh Berry, almost 4 times of what you pay for him per race, especially in this instance. I talked about what he's done in the Xfinity Series here. Obviously, no Cup Series starts on this track because he is a brand new driver to the Cup Series. But again, there's promise in that 4 car, and we know that SHR is on its way out. So anything they do now is all just cherry on top of the ice cream sundae that was SHR. So I think there's been promising enough instances here, especially in Iowa where he led 32 laps as well, for Josh Berry to be in the top 10 conversation. And a top 10 at $7,100 is a pretty decent day in DFS. So anything he does on top of that, whether he starts in the back and has to drive his way to the front or leads a few laps along the way and still finishes 10th or 11th is still gravy. So give me Josh Berry here as well at $7,100.
Yeah. I don't like him as much in the Cup Series this week as I do Xfinity, Rod. But you made some solid points, so I'll give you props for that.
It's DFS, man. You can swing. You can swing on these ones.
I'm glad I have your permission to swing, Rod, because that's what I'm doing with this next one. Give me Austin Dillon, $6,000. What did he just say, Austin Dillon? Yes, I did. Austin Dillon, been surprisingly good at Pocono. 34th place finish last season. Did get caught up in a wreck. Shit like that will happen. But 2022 in the first next-gen race here, 10th place. 13th and 21, 21st in the other 21 race, 14th, 19th, 37th. It's going to happen. 13th, 12th, 21st, 13th, 13th, 37th, 13th, 19th, 15th, 17th. That's his 18 starts here. A lot of pretty decent finishes for Austin Dillon. You might pull his name up and you might look at some of the finishes lately that haven't been great. And I will give you that. It's not been easy going for the RCR guys this year. But they have shown Kyle Busch as well and Austin Dillon where they've been good earlier in the races and then they can't avoid the pianos or this happens or that happens and they don't get the results that are as good as they necessarily ran. But you look back at Texas, a track he's traditionally good at. He's won at before. 8th place finish for Austin Dillon. That's the type of upside you're looking at here. 6th place at Gateway. There's not a lot of other bright spots so far this season, Rod. But even 19th place last week is not bad. 19th at Iowa. For the price you're getting at only $6,000 when he's scoring you 41.9 points or 53.6 points or 41.9 points or 43 points. Those are good, strong days for a guy at $6,000. He's got the upside. This is one of the tracks he's good on. He's one of those guys that tends to be really good at a couple of spots. You see him continue to show up. Texas being a very key example, right? We know he's always kind of been good at Texas. Pocono's one of those tracks he's been pretty solid at. I think he can have another solid performance. I gave out a very long shot bet on him on the Cup Series episode. I think has a shot, and if he's going to catch that type of bet, he's going to need to probably be inside the top 10 or real close. So I think that's where you'll find Austin Dillon this week, potentially. It's another one where, it's got a big downside too, although not as big of a downside as some of these other ones, because even the floor isn't that bad for a guy that's only $6,000.
Yeah, and again, if you're rolling out Austin Dillon, if that GPP hits, I mean, that's one that I think a lot of people are going to be like,
yeah, and somebody has to have him when he finishes in 6th place, right? So maybe this is that week where he gets it done and cashes out big for you.
That 3-car, you want it to be good. You want it to be good every single week. It's just sometimes sad that it's not running up at the front trying to win races each and every week. But
not all numbers can live up to their past. Ask the 43 Rod.
But I do love and respect NASCAR for not doing the retiring numbers thing like most sports. I know they can't. It's very
I think that's the one. That's the one you probably should have retired.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I don't know that he would want that. I don't know. He probably wouldn't have wanted that one to go in retirement.
Well, we can't ask him, Rod. So
you can't ask him. I'm good at seances. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let's get back on track here. I will give you my driver. It's Denny Hamlin. He's the most expensive guy on this list. You probably think, well, duh, Rod, of course it's Denny Hamlin, but it's Denny Hamlin. How can I not set up Pocono without telling you that Denny Hamlin's got to be one of the plays? Because here's why I'm telling you about Denny Hamlin is because a lot of people are going to be going, yeah, but it's Denny Hamlin. He's so expensive. I can't really do it because he's probably not going to do well. Yeah, but I'm here to try to talk you into that because Denny Hamlin is somebody you probably shouldn't shy away from just because he's the most popular and the most expensive driver. Denny Hamlin has his name stamped all over Pocono. You want to talk about laps led around this track? 827 in his career. In his 34 races, he led 827. That is damn near 200, more than 200 more than Kyle Busch at 685. His brother Kurt Busch, 596, by the way. But Kyle Busch is the next active driver at 585. With 2 more races Kyle Busch has than Denny Hamlin. You want to talk about wins? Denny Hamlin has 7 wins. The next best driver with wins, that's Kyle Busch with 4 wins. Top 5s, 15. Top 10s, 22. Poles, 4. Denny Hamlin just owns Pocono. There's just no way around that at all. I want to talk about how he's done so far in the last few years. He won Pocono last year, right? Started 8th, won in Pocono. He should have won Pocono in 2022, but unfortunately, there was tape that was nestled underneath his little wrap that was too big to be there and disqualified him after he led 21 laps of that race. He had a rough season in 2021, but he still finished 14th after starting 17th. He did lead a lap, but a 4th place finish in 2021. He won in 2020. He won in the second race of 2020, 2nd place in the first one. He won 2019, 6th place, 10th place. A bad year in 2018. He finished 35th, but 4th place before that. I don't even feel like I need to go on with Denny Hamlin. Has this season been the best for Denny Hamlin? Nah, but he has won some races this year, right? He's won 3, so he's definitely locked into the playoffs this year and next year. But the finishes have not necessarily been exactly where he wants them to be. He's averaging, believe it or not, Cody, 15th place or 15th place. He's averaging per his starts, but he is still 2nd overall in fantasy points per race this far in the season. 2nd only to Kyle Larson with 20 or 43.8. Kyle Larson has 43.5. Denny Hamlin has. So kind of irresponsible to leave him out completely because you think he's chalk. He's chalk for a reason on this track.
Yeah, you got to play Denny Hamlin this week. He's really good at this track. Sure, it's been a rough couple of weeks for him, but look at the tracks we went to, right? A new place at Iowa, street course at Chicago, road course at Sonoma. Now you're getting to a place where he's really fucking good. He's always been literally won his rookie season, swept the races here. He's loved this place since the first day he came on the track, and still has because he's won the only 2 next-gen races here. He's won, Rod. Yeah, disqualified in one, I get. Do we think that tape helped him that much? Probably not. So He's really fucking. And by the way, if you get disqualified, doesn't matter for DFS because they finalize when they cross the line. So maybe he'll cheat again, and it won't matter because your DFS will cash at least. So there you go.
Maybe we need to get into the business of selling performance tape that really help. I mean, if
tape,
if like three,
it's like Space Jam where they write put the water bottle in there and call it Michael's Special Water. You just like it's 3M tape strips and you just write special performance tape and there you go. It does the trick.
If 3/1000ths of an inch makes that much of a difference underneath the wrap, then I could write the marketing. It would write itself.
Cars were fast that day, Rod. It might have made a difference. Although he was won last year again. So maybe it didn't make a difference. Maybe he's just damn good.
Gentlemen, do you wish you could perform better? How about if I told you 3/1000th of an inch could make you that much better? No, I'm just kidding. I won't do it.
I tried to tell my wife that too, but
it didn't work. Yeah, mine didn't either. I tried. I was like, baby, it's 3/1000ths of an inch. It's like that's where we're at. All right,
It helped Denny Hamlin. Who?
The tricky triangle? No, baby. All right, fine. I'm good. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night. All right, get out your pen and paper. We're gonna go over our DFS plays for Pocono. God bless it. It's Friday. I love you guys. All right. Cody in the truck race started you out with our Tay Gray play at $9,500. I said Tyler Ankrum at $8,800 would be a good play. Cody gave you Dean Thompson at $6,900.
Nice.
And I gave you, I was going to say Cody Rhodes. Damn it. I watched way too much wrestling now.
There you go, Joe Splackos. 51 minutes, 33 seconds.
51 minutes, 33 seconds. Ben Rhodes at $8,500. Cody gave you Corey Hyman, the Xfinity Series at $8,700. I gave you Josh Berry in the Xfinity Series at $7,500. Cody gave you Ryan Sieg at $6,800 in the Xfinity Series as well. I gave you Justin Allgaier at $11,000 in my Xfinity Series pick. Cody dumped down to the Cup Series pick for Tyrone Gibbs at $9,000. I said Josh Berry also in the Cup Series at $7,100. Cody gave you Austin Dillon at $6,000 in the Cup Series, and I gave you Denny Hamlin at $11,000 in the Cup Series for our DK picks for Pocono. It's Friday, buddy. We're done.
It's Friday. We made it. We're done. I love it.
I love it too. All right. Hey, thanks for hanging with us this week, guys. I know things were crazy still. Me in different locations all over the world. I'll never get away from that, but we'll figure this all out by the end of the day. Maybe at some point we'll become millionaires off of podcasting for this, and I won't have to worry about going anywhere else, but right here in this silly office bumping into my mic stand. So, Cody, they can look out for our underdog picks on the channel as well. But in the meantime, let's wrap things up, shall we?
Let's wrap it up, Rod. You can follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. Ton of stuff out over there, so make sure you're following me. And follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. Give us a like over on the Facebook too. Still a couple of followers away from being able to live stream on there again. So that would help us out a ton. If you go just type in NASCAR Gambling Podcast, you'll see our logo there. Give it a follow. We appreciate it. Have a good weekend, and best of luck at the Tricky Triangle.
Indeed. Continue the conversation in the Discord by following us at sg.pn/Discord. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bot, everything I got going on. Of course, there's a lot of great stuff in the Arena Football League going on. Both Cody and I got our hands in that cookie pot as well. So follow us there. We'll see you guys. It's been fun. It's been real. Until then, when we do the recap show for Pocono, let's go racing and let it ride.